day, everyone. King here, back for another video. Thank you for tuning in and watching this video. So, what I'm going to do today is play a snippet of a video. The quality of the video is pretty crappy, so I'm going to just blur it out and just listen to the audio. But the snippet of the video is from a meeting that took place about a week ago. If you see my other video where I give my thoughts on how the meeting went, me and my mother, members of my family, went to the estate meeting here in South Carolina on Saturday. I believe it was the 25th of Saturday. It was the correct date. Um, so went there and it lasted for a little over an hour and a half, whatever. But I recorded the meeting, excuse me, and during the meeting, they said that I said this and I said that. So I'm gonna play a snippet of it, and then give my thoughts on what is it that they said I said, and also my thoughts on how the board is supposed to be operating, as even though they're not operating. And they made any comments and um, well, they made it seem like they're the victim, and meanwhile they're the victimizers, that we are causing the problems, and if it wasn't for the litigation, um, they wouldn't be in the situation they're in. Um, but anyways, so let's watch this video and actually listen to this video, I should say. I'm gonna watch it, but you can listen to it, and then I'll give my thoughts on it.
Again. Yes, sir. So just a follow up. So was everybody notified of these trailers being on the property before y'all can vote? Let's say that notification went out and there was people who came to the meeting and 2/3 left the meeting, but everybody was not notified. I'm talking about everybody. So you send out letters. You send out hold up. You send out letters for people to pay land taxes, but you send out letters to everybody to notify people have requested to put mobile trailers on their property. That's the first thing that needs to happen, right? First thing that happened, and then you go to the meetings. Those that show up can vote. No, I tell you right now, all letters were not sent out to everybody. Okay, sir. That's exactly right. No, it didn't. Okay. If you were not here, then you take a part of it. But first off, I didn't receive no notification. And I didn't receive a notification. A lot of members of my family did not receive notification. Okay. So here we go again. If I recall correctly, you were one of the ones that said you should
Listen.
No, I did not. Okay. No, I did not. So you didn't say that? No, I did not say that, sir. No, I did not say that, sir. Okay. I'm here to ask a question to make sure that everybody understands the situation. So everybody was not notified, for one. So they got received notification of the meeting, what's going to be discussed at the meeting, right? Review the request of who wants to put a trailer on their property. No, I didn't receive no. I didn't receive no letters. I did not receive no letters. My mother did not receive no letters. Cousin Linda, did you receive a letter? Cousin Becky. So a lot of people didn't receive letters. That's what I'm getting to. I have the right to. That's why. I have the right to. We're asking questions. Okay, but you said for me to give respect to people talking, but yet I'm asking questions and people telling me that I don't want everybody to get along. I don't appreciate that comment. I'm not here. It wasn't hearsay. It was just said a few minutes ago. It's not hearsay. I heard it. Right.
She said it.
All right, I'm gonna stop it there. But the gentleman who is the vice president, who's one of the defendants in the case, there's been a lot of he said, she said, um, to include the hearsay of, you know, everything that's pertaining to this case, even things that happened in the past. He said this and she said this, and they doing this and they doing that, even to include, allegedly that I'm trying to sell this land to Walt Disney World for $25 million. And I don't even know where they even got that number from or how they got that number. And that's me for another video. I mean, I talked about it before in one of my other videos a few weeks ago, but that's the kind of stuff that's going on. Like, this board just put information out there that's not even accurate. It's not even correct. They're trying to cover, for back a little word, their backside. They're trying to cover their ass. And they got issue with me and my mother coming there and questioning them because, there was when this when we brought forth this lawsuit to them, they didn't even have a lawyer at the time. They didn't have a lawyer, and we waited to, I guess when they hired a lawyer, because I was pushing for things to happen like instantaneously, like 1, 2, 3, like let's go. But my lawyer was for whatever reason was taking time with it. Where the case may be. That's probably for another video too. But when they got a lawyer, uh, my lawyer sent them interrogatories. Really, this is a legal tool, if you will, that is part of discovery that's allowed per each party to help build their case. And interrogatories meaning that there were a series of questions, at least about 30 questions to ask the party prior to, the depositions or prior to going to court, hearing that is, and then the request for production. So asking the party, in this case, the board, the defendants, to produce documentation, to produce evidence to help with our case. So again, this is known as discovery period. So we sent 30 questions known as interrogatories and 30 requests for production of documentation. So and this one, I believe it was like October, November of last year. So 2022, we sent the interrogatories and discoveries period to the board, to their lawyer. So there was some discrepancies in the response. So we sent a letter in January 20th of 2023. So a few months ago, we sent a letter to their lawyer requesting that they provide the documentation. And the board actually mentioned some of the things that they said they had, but they didn't provide it. This is why I recorded that meeting. They told on themselves. They told on themselves. They said that they have things, when I say things as in documentation, that they were supposed to turn over to us, and they did not do it. But that's for another video. I'll let my lawyer handle it. We're going to handle it during legal proceeding hearings. Anyway, so their lawyers sent a letter to my lawyer in response to our letter that was sent out and was received on January 20th, 2023, or dated, January 20th, 2023. So, in response, the response was, I was basically asking for the board to produce meeting agendas, all the meeting agendas for every meeting, whether for the board meeting, for the estate meetings, whatever kind of meeting they had. I want to see the meeting agendas for every meeting that took place, as well as the minutes, and as well as any documentation, any documents that they had passed out or they used to help conduct the meeting, right? And any information was given to the attendees, I want to see the documentation. Again, this is about helping prove my case, to argue the case against the board for removing me from the office illegally, or improper, I should say, improper way of removing me from the board, and everything else they're doing. So, one of the responses was, please find attached meeting minutes for the following meetings: April 24th, 2021, April 24th, the installation ceremony. So, like basically a sheet of paper that had the installation ceremony notes, if you will, instructions for each position. The June 22nd, 2021 board meeting minutes, the June 3rd, 2022 meeting agenda, Now, June 4th, 2022 board meeting minutes. Please be advised that on June 8th, June 30th, and October 5th of 2021, no state or board meetings were held in this manner. Please find attached correspondence that was sent by the board on June 8th, 2021. So again, I asked them to reduce the meeting minutes, the meeting agendas for every meeting and to include documentation. But you see that it's taken, you know, a letter from my lawyer to get the attachments A through E, right? And then they're telling my lawyer that there was no additional meetings on the June 8th, July 30th, and October 5th. Wait a minute. At least two of these meetings I was at. Definitely one for June 8th of 2021 and October 5th of 2021 because they were all conducted via Zoom. And I was dialed into those meetings, but yet they're telling me that they don't have no meeting minutes. But yet they removed me from the board. They removed me from the board. But yet the board can't even function properly, can't even do their job as in producing minutes, as in producing record of what was discussed during each of these meetings, let alone for July 30th. You say, what is July 30th? What is that? July 30th is a day that two of the board members met with the hunting club president and maybe there's a few members, maybe the vice president and secretary, whoever. But they met with the hunting club, right, and signed a hunting lease. So wouldn't it make sense that on that day to have record of the meeting, have record of who was present at the meeting, what was discussed, and saying that the lease agreement, the hunting lease agreement, was signed on that day? They don't even got it. They don't even have it. They don't even have the I don't know what to call it, the responsibility to follow the rules and laws, to follow what their own oath of enlistment, their own fiduciary duties as to what's required per their position. If you're the secretary, you are required to produce the meeting minutes. You're responsible for correspondence, all the correspondence from the board, right? Any letters, any notification of anything from the board on behalf of the estate supposed to go out to everybody. You're responsible for that as a secretary. You're responsible for all the admin stuff. Where's the meeting minutes at? There's no records of it. And I was dialed into two of these meetings because they were dialed into Zoom. But don't worry, I have the records. I have the recordings of it. You know, and that's I was assistant secretary, and when I was a manager, I made sure everything was recorded. I made sure I had records of everything because I knew there would come a day and time that people were going to question me and accuse me of doing stuff or accuse someone of saying something and doing something which is not true. I mean, the gentleman said that I said that it was okay for family members to move on the property, but yet there's no meeting minutes to prove it. No meeting minutes to prove what I said. No records of it. But that's just hearsay, you know. And I didn't play the snippet of it. Well, actually, I did play a snippet of it where she said we're not going to entertain hearsay. But what he just said was just hearsay. With no proof, it's hearsay. With no proof, it's just that he was just talking, running their mouths. But I got records of it. I got proof of it, and I'll probably make another video to discuss that. But I want to go back to what he said. That I said that it's okay for family members and people to move trailers on property with no proof. See, again, go back to correspondence and the secretary and the board, the officers that hold these positions. They voted me off the board, but yet they're failing to do their job. And they wonder why we're going to court. Wonder why this is necessary. Family or not, as I said, this is business. All feelings aside, I don't care. I don't care because they weren't saying this when Grandma Hattie was alive, when my grandma was alive, when the elders were alive. When Grandma Hattie had to watch her children being sued by people who had no business suing them. And then when I joined in the legal fight, acquire a title and do everything else, oh, it's a problem. It's a problem. But they didn't come to court. They didn't talk our trash in front of Grandma Hattie. They didn't have the courage. They didn't have the gumption to do it, to stand tall. Even some of her own children didn't even stand tall, but Grandma Hattie did. My Grandma Hattie went to the meetings and told them what's what. She expressed her opinion. And I sat there and recorded. I sat there and listened. And my only regret is that I wish I recorded more. I wish I already had made more recordings of the meetings where I wasn't directly involved. Not yet, at least. I wish I would have done more. I wish I recorded more of the meetings, more of the conversations that were being had outside of meetings and everything else, because it'd be hard for them to prove anything, especially when they call me a liar. But they said that I said this and I said that, but no evidence, no proof. Especially when it comes to, they're saying that they are following the proper protocol. They follow the bylaws. Well, I'm the one who wrote the bylaws. I know what's in the bylaws. I spent a year and some change doing the research and putting the bylaws together, putting the articles, writing down the articles, writing down what is supposed to be done per each officer position, for each committee, and how the people are going to manage this property together. How things are going to happen, especially when it comes to moving trailers on property, right? I mean, they said it in, not in this clip, it doesn't show in this clip, but that they didn't have time to function because of litigation. They've been in court since November 16th of 2021. What? No, y'all weren't, because the complaint didn't get filed and served until March of 2022. So how are you in court in November 16th, 2021? My lawyer just sent you a cease and desist letter. So that's not court. I'm just telling you, hey, if you keep going down this path, you keep doing things what you want to do, of course, there's going to be legal action. But you ain't been in court. But and they say that, but yet they still move trailers on the property. So if they're not able to function and do what they're supposed to do, if they were still in court, why did they ignore the cease and desist letter, and why did they go ahead with moving trailers on the property? And why wasn't me and my mother notified? Not just me and my mother, but other members of the family were not notified that the board had approved for people to put trailers on the property. Again, but yeah, I said this and I said that. They have no proof. I mean, they sit there and had the microphone. I didn't need a microphone, but they had a microphone. They said what they said. They controlled the meeting. When I said something, they dismissed me and say, "Hey, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna move forward." Okay, fine. This is why I make these videos. That's why I make these videos, because to get the word out there, to get to the truth. They're gonna tell their truth. That's fine. Let them tell their truth, their version of the truth. Let them express their opinions. I mean, you heard me say that somebody's mumbling under their breath, saying things under their breath while I'm talking, while I'm asking questions, right? When I'm making statements, or why are you doing this? I said, because I can. I have the right to come here, not just me, my mother, my family members. I have the right to come here and ask questions and make statements and express our opinions, because if they can do it, then I can do it too. We can do it too. And then he went on to say that, oh, y'all don't want us to get along. Really? At no point in time, those people at the meetings ever came to a meeting until I called them to a meeting. I called them to a meeting. That's when they came. When it was other board members, when it was other people that were in position, and they were conducting these meetings, they didn't go to the meetings. They didn't start coming to meetings and start paying attention until when? Until I got involved. Until I made a point to notify everybody, because I was doing things proper. I was doing things the right way. They can disagree all they want. That's fine. This is not about, who likes me the most or who loves me most, or who. This ain't like popularity contest. We're not in high school. This is real world. Grown men and women got things to do, family or not. But I'm not gonna belabor this point. But I mean, I do have the evidence of what I said and what I didn't say, and I'm definitely gonna make another video showing that, showing the clips of the meetings where I spoke up and I said something during the meetings. But again, this board is not able to produce the meetings, the meeting minutes showing what I said during each meeting. There's no proof of it. They have no evidence. They do, they haven't turned it over. And maybe they will when we go to court. I don't know. Maybe they're holding back. That's fine. But if so, they're in violation of the court procedure, court rules, right? He said, matter of fact, let me read the part of the letter. He said, pursuant to Rule 33, we are objecting to additional interrogatories and discovery requests add it in your correspondence dated January 24th, 2023 as numbers 911. So again, I sent a letter, let them know that they were in violation of Rule 33 when it comes to court procedure, court action. They didn't do it. They still haven't done it. And they're mad that we're doing this. If they were doing things proper, the board was functioning properly, we wouldn't be in this situation. There won't be no need for this. Family or not. Family or not. There's rules and laws. So anyway, I'm leaving it at that, but I thank you for tuning in and see you in another video. Take care. Peace.